had to re-up, had to get some coffee. I'm starting to wake up. Once again, thanks for finding the videos. I'm going to expand off of this, and like I said, the journey, your life is a journey, and I'm a firm believer. Everyone has a story, but it's up to you to define how it's told. This video is for the guys. I'm going to tell you something that hopefully you already know. If you don't, I hope you will embrace what I'm trying to convey. And it's going to save you a whole lot of time, heartache, pain. I'm going to tell you the things that really your prospective mate, your wife, significant other, girlfriend, probably has not told you, or maybe she has. If you want to have longevity and a healthy, viable relationship that lasts, first of all, you got to be real with yourself. It starts with you. No one else, not your friends, not your family. It starts with you. Now, right off the bat, you got to decide if you're thinking about having someone in your life. First and foremost, can you give them what they are needing? You have to make that decision first before you pursue anything. You have to. If you know that you're not in a position to meet those needs, you might need to fall back until you do. Because people tend to sell dreams, and they sound good, but in actuality, if you don't have a plan behind it, it is nothing but a dream. Now, you may be thinking, well, you know what, I've got goals and aspirations, and you know, I want them there when I'm not standing, because when I get there, I'm going to give them what I've done, and that's part of the journey. Now, that is true to a degree, but if you got a dream, or there's something that you're trying to do, and you haven't put no steps, no actions behind it, that's a number one, that's a red flag right there. It's a red flag, man. So you gotta keep that in mind, because a woman wants a man that's ambitious and driven. I don't care if you're holding it down. That only is going to sustain for so far, but then the real world, like being responsible, paying your bills, doing what you need to do, that all adds up. That has a significant role. Here's number two. Well, let me correct that. First of all, in the beginning, are you spiritually grounded? If you're not spiritually grounded, everything about you is going to be up and down, because you don't have no balance, you don't have no peace within yourself. And women have a keen sense, they can sense that. And they don't want to be with a man that don't have it together, because even though they're not going to tell you this, they want you to lead. Now, it's supposed to be joint, yes, but there's some things that a woman wants for a man to do. You know, you gotta take the initiative, man. That just looks good. That just looks good for you, and it just makes you come off stable. Back to number 3. You have to embrace your emotions. You gotta communicate. You You can't go around with your emotions bottled up. I don't care what society, society has this illusion that they feel that, okay, as the man, you're the hunter, you're the provider, you show no fear, you're stoic. Okay. Well, what about your emotions? What about when things get tough and you're trying to find clarity? You can't just step that away. You can't. Because all that does is bottle up, and it just caps something off that should not, or you end up saying something that you're going to regret later. You got to have that open communication with whoever is going to be in your life. That's the only way you're going to have that harvest. Think about it this way. Excuse me. Like a farmer, he plants the seeds. It's his actions that are going to cause that seed to grow, to cultivate. That takes time. Communication is a means of cultivating your investment in that relationship. Time brings you closer. Ultimately, your partner, the person of significance in your life, should be your best friend. If you can't confide in them, why are they in your life? If they won't give you sound advice, why are they there? If they're not looking for your best interest, who are you fooling? Number 4. If you make plans or have goals that you want to attain, going back to number 2, you make sure you follow through. Because if you don't, what happens is you come off like a procrastinator. Once again, going back to you not being stable. So what I'm getting at is this. See, a lot of times, and I used to be like this when, in my 20s. I had this mindset, well, you know what? If you ain't on the team, then I'll cut you. Move on to the next one. Little did I know, 20 years later, yeah, I know, the things I were doing were the insecurities that I had not overcome. And what happens is you tend to attract those insecurities into your life, those negatives in your life, those shortcomings in your life. Can things change? Yes. Anything can change. But you got to put the work in. It's no different than taking your vehicle to the car wash. You're not just going to run through the car wash and not wipe it down. You're going to make sure that the presentation is what you want, because it's a representation of you, the driver. So what I'm saying is this: anything that you value, but first put God first in everything you do, is an extension of you. You feel what I'm saying? If you want her to respond a certain way, well, you've got to respond a certain way to her. You got to keep that lines of communication open. Sometimes it may mean taking a time out. It may mean going your separate ways. But like I said in an earlier video, if it's divinely meant, guess what? They're growing, you're growing, and if it's willed by God, God's going to say, hey, okay, you've learned where you needed to be, you've learned where you needed to be. I need you guys to come together and go forth. But with anything, you gotta pay your dues. You gotta pay what it's worth. Now, you can't use manipulation. You can't use deception. You can't lie. Goes back to communication. Identify where your weaknesses is. Maybe they can enhance where you lack, and vice versa. But it all starts with you. And if you can't do none of that at this point, the right thing to do is to step back, get yourself together, and at the appropriate time, then consider that. Don't throw yourself out there and you ain't ready, because all you're doing is making it worse, and you're setting yourself up for more pain. You deserve all the blessings. You deserve them. But you can't live your life with ego and pride. You can't. The people that care and love you gonna always be there. Don't matter what go down, they're gonna be there because they love you. But it starts with you loving yourself. Alright, y'all. Be blessed. Be true to you. Be true to those that are in your life. And stay blessed. Peace.